All right, if you've ever used the RSI, you know that feeling, right? You're watching a trend just rip higher and higher, and you're stuck on the sidelines, waiting for a signal that feels like it's never gonna come. So what if there was a faster, more sensitive version? Well, that's exactly what we're diving in today, the stochastic RSI, or as most traders call it, the stock RSI. So here's the game plan. First, we're going to talk about why this thing was even invented, that waiting game of the regular RSI. Then we'll get into what makes it tick, this whole indicator of an indicator idea. After that, we'll learn how to actually read the signals it gives. We'll put it head to head with the original RSI, check out how you might use it in a real strategy, and then, this is the important part, we'll look at why it's a real double-edged sword. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. You know, every great tool is born from a problem. And to really get the StochRSI, you first have to understand the specific frustration traders were having with its predecessor, the good old standard RSI. I mean, come on, every trader has been there. Your RSI is flashing red, totally screaming overbought, telling you a reversal is just around the corner. So you wait, but the price just keeps on climbing, leaving you on the sidelines, wondering if your chart is broken. That exact feeling is where this story really begins. And this wasn't just a feeling, it was a real measurable problem. The guys who created the stock RSI, Chande and Kroll, they absolutely nailed it right here. They saw that in a really strong trend, the RSI could just get kinda stuck in that overbought zone, making it pretty much useless for timing anything. It was telling you to get ready to sell while the biggest part of the move was still happening. So, faced with this problem of let's call it a lazy indicator, Chande and Kroll cooked up a pretty clever solution. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel. Instead, they built an indicator for the indicator itself. And that solution is the stock RSI. Now, the genius here is how simple the idea is. Instead of running a formula on price, it runs the stochastic formula on the RSI's own values. It's basically just asking a simple question, hey, where is the RSI right now compared to its own recent highs and lows? It's not measuring the price's momentum, it's measuring the RSI's momentum. And this isn't some newfangled thing either. It was introduced way back in 1994 with one main goal: to generate more signals and react to shifts in momentum way faster than the original RSI ever could. So think about it like this. The price of an asset creates the RSI value, and then that RSI value creates the Stoch RSI value. That means the final signal you're looking at is 2 full steps removed from the actual price action. Now, I want you to burn that phrase into your brain, 2 steps removed, because it is the absolute key to understanding both the power and the danger of this thing. Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this actually look on a chart? What are we supposed to do with it? Let's break down the signals it's sending us. All right, so unlike the RSI, the stock RSI is usually standardized. You'll see it on a scale from 0 to 100 on most trading platforms, or, like we have here, 0 to 1. When you see that line pop up above 0.8 or 80, that's your overbought signal. It's telling you the RSI itself has hit the very top of its recent range, and that buying pressure might be about to run out of gas. And on the flip side, of course, when it drops below 0.2 or 20, that's your oversold signal. The indicator is basically screaming that the RSI is scraping the bottom of its barrel, and a potential bounce could be coming up. And then you've got this line right in the middle, the 0.5 level or the 50 line. Think of this as your quick and dirty momentum guide. Is the indicator hanging out above 50? Well, the bulls are probably in charge for the short term. Is it stuck below 50? The bears likely have the upper hand. Simple as that. So now that we know the levels, let's really put these 2 indicators head to head. This is where you're going to see that classic trade-off between speed and stability in crystal clear detail. The source material for this had just a fantastic analogy, and it's perfect. Stoch RSI is like RSI on steroids. It's not a totally different species of indicator, it's just a supercharged, amped up version of the original. And this table just lays that trade-off completely bare. I mean, look at the RSI column. It's tracking price, so it's slower, less sensitive, and gives you fewer signals. Now look at the stock RSI. It tracks the RSI's momentum, making it way faster, way more sensitive, and because of that, it generates a ton more signals. You are literally trading stability for speed. Okay, so we have this incredibly fast, incredibly sensitive tool. The big question is, how do we actually use it without getting chopped to pieces by all those extra signals? Well, the answer is all about one word: context. Look, The smartest way to use this indicator is to swim with the current, not against it. First, figure out the main trend. If the market's in an uptrend, you completely ignore the overbought sell signals. You just don't care about them. Instead, you wait for the stock RSI to dip down into that oversold territory. That's your potential entry point to rejoin the trend. But, and this is so important, you always wait for some other kind of confirmation before you pull the trigger. And let me be really, really clear on this. Using the Stoch RSI all by itself is a recipe for disaster. It's just too noisy. It has to be part of a team. Use a moving average to confirm the trend. Use support and resistance levels to see if the entry makes sense. Use volume to see if there's any real conviction. Think of the Stoch RSI as your scout. It finds potential opportunities, but it is not the general who gives the final order. And that brings us to what might be the most critical part of this whole breakdown. We've talked about all the power and the speed. Now we have to talk about the risk. Because this tool really is a double-edged sword, and you have to respect both sides of that blade. Hey, remember that 2 steps removed idea we talked about a minute ago? Well, this is where it comes back to bite you. Because the stock RSI is reacting to the RSI and not directly to the price, its signals can sometimes lag, or even completely disconnect from what the price is actually doing. It might be screaming at you to sell just as the price is finding support for its next big leg up. So let's put its weaknesses right under the microscope. First, it is wildly volatile. It bounces from the top to the bottom at breakneck speed. Second, that speed creates a lot of false signals, what traders call whipsaws, that can shake you out of a perfectly good trade or lure you into a really bad one. And finally, like we just said, it can just be plain out of sync with the price. The very thing that makes it so fast is also exactly what makes it so dangerous. So, in the end, it all comes down to this one simple question you have to ask yourself. For your own trading style, is the benefit of getting a faster signal worth the risk of dealing with a lot more noise? The stock RSI can give you a head start, an earlier warning sign than the regular RSI for sure, but you pay for that speed with a much higher chance of being faked out. And only by really understanding that trade-off can you decide if this powerful and very volatile tool has a place in your own strategy.